Okay, guys, we're back with another one. First up today, my first guest is playing a class that might be slightly underrepresented, or at least I thought, but I actually had a lot of people offer to do this one. I think I had like 3 or 4 different people offer to do this one. However, I chose this candidate because not only do I know that they've been around for a long time, but also they were the first name to always pop up when we talked about getting someone on for this class. Now, as far as the specifics of the guest, I'm going to be honest, I've really never interacted with this person, aside from scheduling this time to chat. But without any further stalling, I'm sorry that I took so long for this one. Our first interview of the day is a mage. One of you guessed it correctly. It is the first of our 3 Explorer Mages. We haven't done any of them yet. Our first Explorer Mage is going to be the blue one. That's right, it's Ice Lightning. As far as who we got for Ice Lightning, it is none other than the most requested Ice Lightning player for these interviews. We got Ebola. Yo, chills.
Yeah, that's true. We got Ebola collectively now.
Yo, chills, dude. I'm going to say chills pretty much every time you cast a skill during this entire interview because it's actually like, yeah, this is the one class that we can actually just say chills about every single skill. I guess except for the lightning ones, but
well, yeah, half of them are lightning. But
yeah. Damn chills, bro. It's going to be either chills or I'm shocked. Okay, that's gonna be
okay.
Gonna be my 2 responses to every single thing. And yeah, just to clarify, I did say Ebola, guys. Yeah, it's Ebola.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really care like what my first name is and stuff like that. Like if you know me, you know it. It's not like a secret, but just I'm Ebola on everything, so it's just much easier to. You know, I was edgy when I was like 14, so, you know, we're old now, but it is what it is.
He's like, I am Ebola, guys. You better watch out. He's playing Call of Duty. He's running around with the name Ebola. People are like, damn, I just died to Ebola.
I actually joined a work meeting. We were like doing a Scriblio as like a team building thing. And I accidentally joined from like the same browser as a Maple game. And I joined as Ebola. My coworkers were like, who the hell is Ebola? I was like, oh shit, sorry. And I had to rejoin as a different name.
You're like someone, that's so weird, guys. Some random person got the link to our Scribble game. Oh no.
I don't know if you want to get into it now or if you want to do the cool shit thing or whatever. I mean,
yeah, let's go ahead and like save the downsides for the end, and then we'll hype up the class for the next hour or so, and then at the end, if you have any like final thoughts that you know maybe you want to like warn people of, then I'm down for that at the end.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
it's not really a downside, but yeah, we'll get into it. Yeah. I think this class is totally fine though. As the broad strokes, the class is totally fine.
Yeah.
This is the only KMS class with a 13-second bind. Sia, for some reason, also has a 13-second bind. Why? I don't know. Who knows?
Wait, really?
And this is also, I think, the only skill still in the game that references separate IED for mages and non-mages.
Wait.
If you tag the boss, you get 30 magic IED, but you only get 15 weapon IED. And you used to have to bind, but you don't have to bind it anymore. We got QL'd like 2 years ago. So now you just press it, even if the boss is already bound. And you're given some party support. Real valuable 1 FD. During burst only.
Yo, Rascal, you're not invited to my groups anymore. I don't do magic damage.
It's 15% regular IED. That's huge.
Yeah. Oh wait, you said 100% magic IED?
No. 30 for mage, 15 30. For regular. Okay. No, 100 would be actually good.
Yeah, I was like, wait. Okay.
So I think this bind is also, in my opinion, the best bind in the game. Let me show you in any boss. It doesn't really matter. Well, it's 13 seconds, but you also can't possibly miss it no matter how bad you are.
Okay.
Because it's a key down. So you just get to hold it down for 10 seconds.
Wait. Before you go
where
in,
the boss is.
Or before you press it, can you turn up the effects so we can see it?
Yeah. Sure. Sorry. Let me just bail out of this. Because I don't know where it is in the menu and I don't want to get knocked around.
You want to string out while you're in the options?
Effects, right?
Yeah, right there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's my guys.
Oh damn! Wait, you got summons. Okay, wait. So you're the little rabbit, right?
Yeah. I can take
okay.
off the effect ring if you want. It doesn't really matter. No, I'm Bigfoot.
Okay, yeah, there we go. That's better. Perfect. Monkey.
But I'll put on my normal outfit actually because I don't really wear this usually. Oh, I don't know if I have my regular outfit anymore. Honestly, I don't really care that much about fashion.
You just have like 4 different animal outfits.
Yeah, well, I just buy the cute NX, but like I'm never good at dressing myself. I just kind of have.
You just went from being a bunny to a monkey to a gigantic 4-armed cat to an elephant.
Oh. Well, yeah, I mean, everyone wants to be 3 things at once, so why wouldn't you be bug cat and a giraffe and also have a bunny?
God damn.
That's the griefer outfit.
God damn. Okay.
For when the bosses are getting a little too easy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you can't possibly miss the bind.
Okay.
I guess, I mean, you could insanely low roll and not be standing anywhere near the boss, but like when Slime TPs away or Hilla TPs or whatever, like you can't miss it. I'm just going to hold this down, and eventually she's going to move in front of me, and then she's going to get bound.
So it's the breath?
If you miss it, it's at any point, any tick of this damage does the bind. So if you ever accidentally miss it first, you just hold it down. You're also invincible while you're doing that. You can't do anything else, but it's also an iframe.
Okay.
So, like, you won't get pushed, you won't get dove on. Like, sometimes Kalos dives immediately in between binds, because, you know, you're the binder, so you messed up. I would say someone, but... It's probably your fault.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just hold it down while he's gone. He'll land where he, right in front of you, and then he'll be bound the first frame that you can hit him. So you really cannot mess it up.
Okay.
So I think that's really nice for new players.
Yeah.
Where like, otherwise you have the 3-minute Urda cooldown when you have bad nose and you tag one of the corpses and you miss it and you're like, I don't even want to do this anymore. Like I need a mental break.
Yeah.
I think it's also the only class in the game with 3 different teleports. So we have the regular mage. FP might have this too, but I think they have a different length. So we have the regular teleport. That's just, first job or second job or whatever. I think it's first job now, but second job in Classic. I don't really remember. Then we have teleport mastery, which does damage when you TP, but in practice all it does is put you in combat and make it hard to ring swap.
Okay.
And then we have teleport boost, which gives you a little bit of range. So like if I start at this portal, I'll go there, or if I turn off the range, I don't make it back to the portal.
Okay.
Then we also have a hyper skill that gives you even more range. And I see a lot of people make this mistake. You don't need any of the other toggles if you have this range. Even though it's a hyper's passive, it's actually an active toggle. The tooltip for this class maybe could use some work.
Okay.
So now I'll go way further. Than if I was just regular range boosted. So you have, I mean, it's not really that relevant because like you're only ever playing whatever you're most comfortable with.
Yeah,
like I always just play at max range, but it is nice that you can make your range whatever you want. Like back when H-Will was actually kind of hard and you needed to like play pretty well to keep getting cleanses. People really liked short TP because it gave you the most control over your character.
Yeah.
And I kind of, I don't know how well they're going to keep designing bosses for how long this TP range is, but and you probably haven't done Limbo yet, but Limbo has an attack where he puts a thing in the middle and you have to go to the edge of his bubble. Your TP is too long if you're at max range. You TP out of the bubble from standing on top of the hazard, so you have to like TP and then take a step.
Okay.
But so that's how big it is, basically. It's like as big as most of the ranges of a boss. So it's very nice if you're trying to get from point A to point B. You just move so far.
Okay.
It's like a little bit shorter than Kana, and it's much longer than every other thing in KMS, I think.
Yeah, all right.
But I mean, it is an Explorer. So like a lot of the Explorer kits are kind of basic. So there's not a ton of like crazy stuff I can do, right? Like I can't like fly forever like Ho Young or anything like that.
Yeah.
So a lot of the quote cool stuff is just gonna kind of be niche. Like, you can do all kinds of crazy stuff with teleport. You have a mage float, and then you also have your blink, so you can, do the same thing as every other class that has a mage float. But I think all 3 explorers have the exact same mage float, to my knowledge. It's also very, very comfy to burst on because of our like class Hero's Will. So I think all 3 mages have a slightly different version of this. Fire Poison's like randomly resets up to 5 times and then goes on cooldown, so blocks up to 5 statuses. Bishop's has a long cooldown, but it gets reduced when you dispel something. Ice Lightning's just 30 seconds of no status.
Okay.
You pre-pop it, and the first status you would take, you just ignore statuses for 30 seconds.
Okay.
So you're not going to get blinded. You're not going to get, like, a lot of the random ride or die crap. It's very, very nice during.
Yeah, 30 seconds
because
is crazy.
You won't just take, like... It's a long cooldown. I think it's 4 minutes. Yeah, it's 4 minutes. So you don't get it, you know, you get it every Origin or every other 2 minute, because this is a 2 minute class, even already. But it's very nice. It's also like, you know, when Dark Knell has all of the, you know, as you're progging through all of the different bosses, there's some annoying status that's going to mess up your burst in any boss. So it's very nice that you just don't have to worry about it at least every other burst.
Yeah.
You just get to kind of do your thing, because you also do have to press a key down during the burst, that until we get all those sweeping 2 minute changes where they make everyone's key down skills either shorter or invincible during them, you just got to stand here like this. And you're just vulnerable to everything taking full damage, and you can't move.
Okay.
So they kind of needed to give us some of this stuff so that we could do that safely. But you do get to do it safely. So it you know, it all kind of plays well together.
Yeah. Okay. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. That was sorry. That was a really bad joke. It's pretty cool.
That's all right.
I don't mean to do it. It's just gonna keep happening.
Yeah, it's all right. I was gonna say that when you asked, show me some cool stuff, I was just gonna go, oh, they're all cool. It's ice class. But luckily you did it first, so I didn't have to.
Chills, guys. Chill. All right. So before we get into the specifics of the class and stuff, do you want to give us like a introduction on yourself and what got you started playing the game and how long ago that was, and like any maybe like cool achievements that you have aside from, well, you can show off your 4th place chair again if you want.
Well, I mean, I played 2 servers, so that's probably something.
Okay.
Like I cleared hard limo and Barra also every week, so like I'm pretty progressed in both places, but it's not really that relevant, I would say. So I started playing, you know, I think when a lot of now Maplers started playing. I'm in my 30s, so I started playing like beta era, like when I was in like middle school and we were all playing either RuneScape or this or WoW. Yeah. So I started with a lot of my friends like post Big Bang or pre Big Bang, maybe like a year before Big Bang. And I played a lot, like, you know, I remember when Battle Mage came out. I remember when Iran came out, like stuff like that, like way back in the day.
Damn.
And I quit maybe like 6 months after Big Bang, and I didn't come back until like 2019. And then I had this like nice little period of time where I was in between jobs and just kind of hanging out. And I was like, oh, they're going to like let me be on unemployment for a while. I think it's time to find some games to play. So I downloaded Maple in like mid 2019, and I was like, "Oh, this kind of hitting. This is pretty fun."
Yup.
Or maybe it was 2018. I don't remember the exact year, but about a year before COVID started. Yeah. And then I was like a dailies gamer. I like watched a bunch of streamers who don't stream anymore, and like watched all the YouTube guides from 3 twins ago before the twins, and. Just kind of like tried to dive in, but I was like an early game clueless player. I like didn't really understand, like, like would read an article on flames. And I was like, I still don't really get it. Yeah. Like, so I was a pretty new player until COVID, basically. I just like logged in, did my dailies, did my weeklies, and then logged out. Yeah. And then when COVID hit, obviously we all just had like infinite free time. I was work from home. The work VPN wasn't even set up for a few months. Like, there was just nothing but time to kill. Yep. And so I was like, oh, yeah, this is a pretty good way to kill infinite time. And that was back during the Kana farming meta, so you could actually spend like true infinite time. Like sometimes you'd farm for 3 months and nothing on your account would change. Yeah. So, I just logged in every day since then. Since like, whatever, March 2020 or February 2020. But I think I really had done my dailies every day since 2019 anyway. That's crazy. But I don't think I'm the strongest. I don't even think I'm in the top 5 anymore. There's just too many people who are new school players that have one main. and only prog that one main.
Yeah.
Where I have like all 6 of my potential Legion champs are already in full 22s with like fake 3-line or better. This is like soloing Enkalos weekly. This can probably do the Enkalos mission already. So like I spread wider than a lot of people.
Yeah.
So there are definitely people who are just have their one main. Like Snowfruit's gear is like way, way crazier than mine. But I don't know how good his mules are. I think he's also been playing longer than me. But there are Ice Lightnings. Like I'll be pugging a character on my Kana or on my my Marksman, and I'll run into like a 280 something Ice Lightning I've never heard of. So they're out there.
Yeah.
And there are dozens of us or whatever. Like
they do exist. They're just hiding in the shadows.
Yeah, but they're all pretty quiet for sure.
Yeah.
There's no one that streams or
yeah.
As far as I know in any streamers parties, but they exist at endgame. The class is, totally reasonable class. There's just not that many people that started so long ago with it that they just, still like it 15 years later.
Yeah. Okay.
So
okay.
yeah, I mean I play this game a lot.
Yeah.
That's the answer.
Yeah. All right. Damn, dope. All right, well, let's skip past the resume part now that that's covered. And let's get into the specifics of the class. So, the first thing that everyone wants to know about is your damage and specifically what your burst is like.
Yeah. So your burst damage is pretty mid to even like below average.
Okay.
I would say maybe. But you don't have like the fire poison or Lumi damage profile where you have like a bunch of different things you're rotating. So the way that Explorer Mage works fundamentally is that you have this skill, Infinity. That gives you a crazy amount of FD with some uptime and some downtime that's affected by buff duration and also ramps up the longer it's active up to a cap.
Okay.
So you always want to be bursting towards the end of an Infinity, and you want to make sure your Infinity is as long as possible. Okay. So the class has some buffs to buff duration. Like you get 55 base higher than everyone else to try to accommodate that.
Mm-hmm.
But just by virtue of always... this is 100% uptime if you're even like mid-game. Okay. If you have, I think it's 6k Legion and a 200 mech, and there's event stats, it's already 100% uptime.
Okay.
And in reality, it's 95% uptime for most people anyway, because there's only one really low roll on Unreliable Memory that doesn't refund the cooldown. But so you can get this to last about 2 minutes. Its cooldown is 3 minutes for the real version. And then they gave us this mage skill, Unreliable Memory, that lets you copy a non-5th or higher job skill. So there's a nice little UI for that. Okay. And you can pick between these 6 skills. So this is a summon that's not very good. Well, it's actually good damage, but you just would never want a second one. It already has no cooldown. Mm-hmm. It's like a 30-second cooldown to plant it. You basically never take anything other than Infinity, is the point. Like, a bonus Ice Ball, this is a 6-second cooldown or less, 5 seconds. Chain Lightning doesn't have a cooldown. I don't know why you would ever pick this skill. The bind is 2 minutes. You might need a second bind, but, like, you have Urda bind, and the boss is still on the bind cooldown from your first bind.
Yep.
And Blizzard is also barely worth pressing. It's got good passives, but, like, you would never need a second one. So you're only ever slotting in Infinity on all 3 mages, as far as I know. Maybe there's some niche stuff when you interview the other 2, but you're basically always Infinity. So this Infinity's cooldown can go as long as 4 minutes if you super low roll. It's still affected by Mercedes and stuff like that. But so basically, if you have 2 about 100-second Infinities, they always cover each other. Like while one is cooking, the other one is always like cooking, like stacking FD. Mm-hmm. The other one is always on its way to being back up. So you will always have one of these 2 Infinities up unless you mess something up. So because of that, you always have this crazy amount of FD the whole time you're playing the class.
Hold on for a sec. Can we take a pause and chat's asking if we can get you to blow your nose.
Oh, yeah, no, that's because I'm nervous. That's not because I have anything in my nose. Sorry, chat.
No, you're good.
I will try to stop
Damn, guys, you made it worse, bro. You made it worse. That's insane. Okay.
But so because you basically always have that very high FD relative to without it, like you saw it jump from 120 something to 280 something. Yeah. You know, that's not really how FD works because each source gets added in, but it is a massive source of FD. When it's fully charged at the cap, it's over 100 FD.
Okay.
So because you have this the whole time you're playing the class, no matter what, the baseline for your skills damage is like pretty flat, right? Because you're always, quote, bursting. So you still have burst skills, but they're not, you don't have a burst buff that's ever going to come close to 100 FD.
Yeah.
So you're kind of always like halfway buffed up. So because of that, like all your skills do good damage, but your very specific 15 seconds, 20 seconds, depending on if you ever were 5, of your like, quote, burst window is not going to be that impressive when you're pressing the same skills for the other minute 40 in between that cycle, right?
Yeah.
You still have the crazy FD and you're still pressing mostly chain lightning. So, I mean, all the skills are good. You do, you press them, you burst like a normal class. But because there's this like kind of explorer mage defining buff, all 3 of them have kind of a flatter damage profile than if this was more like Sukuno's Blessing, where you just had it for 40 seconds and it just like giga ramped up for that one cycle of skills.
Yeah.
The burst is very, very easy to get off. You literally press the buttons in order of their duration. You press the stuff that lasts 30 seconds, then you press the stuff that lasts 15, then you bind, then you press the thing that lasts 12, then you press the thing that you hold down for 3, and then you hold chain lightning. Like it is so trivial to burst. You really can't mess it up. So I don't know if it's just damage that this category is, or whether it's also like difficulty of extracting that damage, but it's really easy to do your burst.
Yeah, mostly just like how it performs.
Okay. Yeah, it's fine to below average. And then your origin, which a lot of classes that had like a weaker initial burst got like, or at least they tried to give them a bursty origin. Your origin has a 7-second cutscene and then 30 seconds of lingering stuff.
Okay.
So the actual cutscene is fine. It's about 50-ish. Like it's like 45-55 split, depending on how your buffs line up and stuff like that, because it's so long and you have infinity. So it's not consistent, the exact split. But about half the damage is the cutscene, and the other half is the lingering, which is also going to fall outside your ring and potentially not line up with continuous ring procs perfectly and stuff like that. So even the origin is kind of muted.
Yeah.
Like it's flattened out. It also turns your entire screen blue.
Okay.
So, I mean, I could show it.
Yeah.
But you can't see what's going on if you're in Black Mage, because your whole screen is this. And that on a white background with an aura above your head, you actually cannot tell what curse you have.
Straight flashbanged. Okay.
So it looks cool, but like, I would rather have just had 10 seconds
and
of damage.
That lasts 30 seconds?
Yeah, the AoE up here, yeah.
Damn.
So it's a while. Which is, I mean, it's fine. Like, it does good damage.
Chills.
It's just, you're blind. So if that's what you're into, then it's a good skill.
Yeah.
If you like being able to see,
Yeah, okay. All right, and then, so your burst is basically just the same stuff that you're doing normally, but it's just you trying to line it up at,
so
at the peak of your like
skills.
ramping damage, whatever.
Well,
right?
So Infinity also hits a cap. If I'm sure that if the bishop you have is Simon, he's more of a math guy than me, so I'm sure he'll correct any slight things I say wrong, or people in the chat will. I'm kind of like a say numbers 90% accurate and hope that they're close enough kind of guy. I don't have all of the specifics memorized, but you are usually fully cooked about a minute into your Infinity. So if you have a minute of cooking and it's up every 2 minutes, then I just burst a minute into each one.
Yeah.
And then at the end of my burst, when it dies, like at the 2 minute mark, I just reset it.
Yeah.
So I'm always 1 minute into cooking, and that's always close to the cap, if not the cap.
Yep.
So you don't have to, like, this used to be kind of an annoying skill to manage. You used to have to actually press this every 9 seconds and hope you rolled a random skill that was Infinity. I cleaned that up like 2 years ago. So this used to be a pain point to pick up the class, but you don't have to do anything. You don't even have to think about it.
Okay.
It's just managed for you. So then when you're bursting, you make this ice field that just gives ice stacks fast. I'll explain that better later on when we get into the skill descriptions. But basically, you give ice stacks with your ice skills, and you eat the ice stacks for bonus damage on your lightning skills. That's like a core passive of the class. So this normally is just a regular buff that gives ice stacks slowly over time as you're near an enemy. It actually shows up on your party members' heads too, although no one else can use the ice stacks. But you can plant it, that vortex, to stack them much faster for a set amount of time.
Okay.
So that's absolute zero aura. That's the hyper skill. So because you're doing a lot of lightning attacks when you burst, you're eating them faster than you normally give them. So this helps you manage that so that you're always still at max ice stacks.
Yeah.
So you plant that, and then you summon your long 30-second summon, Spirit of Snow. This just kind of does its thing. It's just attacks every 2 or 3 seconds. It's okay, but you don't have to do anything. It's got a massive hitbox, and it just kind of sits here and hits. After that, you usually want to pop your AB after this because it's rare that you have an over 30-second AB. But like if you use buff sequence, it's just going to take care of it for you. And otherwise, you can press it beforehand if it's over 30 seconds. It's really not that big a deal. You would will Saren before you start your burst. You would pop your 60s, you know, obviously your burst buffs before you start bursting. But after Spirit of Snow, you don't have any other tight cooldowns. This lasts 15 seconds and just puts stuff on the ground. The initial attack is the majority of the damage, and then the ice spikes just chill on the ground for 15 seconds. Your bind is 13 seconds and gives that slight IED, so you press that next. And then Jupiter Thunder is a complicated skill as it reads, but it's actually pretty simple. You press it, and it lands on a boss and marks them, and then they like pulse. I'll just show you. I don't know why I'm talking about all this stuff without being in a boss. Sorry.
No, it's all right. You can go to the dojo too if you want to just like
that's much
not
better.
have to worry
That's
about
much
dodging
better.
stuff.
Yeah, that's much better. But it marks the boss visually and like, you know, actually. So you can very, very clearly tell whether it's on the thing or not.
Okay.
But let me just... I actually don't... They moved dojo to... Or the Foggy Forest to one of these NPCs, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Alright, let's just summon a random infinite health. 295. I mean, none of this stuff matters, but... Like, large, unlimited... So when you tag the boss, it starts blinking.
Okay.
So you can tell
yeah,
that it's on the boss.
Jesus. Okay.
So that gives you bonus FD to your lightning attacks for the 12 seconds that it's on the thing marking it.
Okay.
Except for your origin, which specifically says it isn't a lightning skill.
Okay.
Even though it's called Frozen Lightning.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So, yeah, you know, shout out to the localization team. So that last 12 seconds, it does damage, it does good damage, and it just marks it for all of your future chain lightnings. And that last 12 seconds, so it's really not that tight either, right? You've only pressed 3 buttons so far, and even base roar is 15 seconds. And then the only other skill you have to do is that big orb, that's about a 3-second channel, and then you just go back to holding down chain lightning for the entire rest of your burst with all of that stuff just kind of ambiently hitting in your Oz ring.
So like
so
all of your
really
like frost
simple
stuff is kind of just passively applying stacks while you're just like consuming it with your chain lightning.
So this is not the ice stacks actually. This is cryoshock stacks, which is a different 6th job thing. It's pretty hard to see without or with effects on. But yeah, your ice stacks are coming organically from pressing this ice ball usually. You press this off cooldown, even though it isn't actually a good skill. It does less damage than not pressing it, but it gives ice stacks. And the bonus from the ice stacks is good enough that it makes it back to worth pressing mathematically.
Yeah, okay. Makes sense.
But that's it. Your other ice skills from your burst give ice stacks the same way that your other lightning skills eat the stacks. But normally you're just ice ball off cooldown and hold down chain lightning otherwise.
Yeah, okay.
And it's pretty chill, you know.
Okay.
So yeah, the burst, you know, the burst looks like this in reality. And then the last thing is Bolt Barrage, which is every 37 seconds, it's just Shuriken. You press it once and it starts flying out, and you press it a second time to hold it in place so that it keeps hitting the boss. It's exactly Shuriken. This skill is insane. This is the best skill the class has. But because it's on a 37-second cooldown, it's 40 with Merc and whatever else, but because it's on a weird cooldown, and it does a lot of your damage, that also affects like why the burst is kind of weird. If they tripled the damage of this and made it a 2-minute skill instead, your burst would be Giga.
Yeah, okay.
So that's another reason that the damage profile is kind of flatter or more rounded or whatever, not spiky, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't have a big point where you do a ton of damage.
Okay, so let me get you to rank the class's burst damage right now, and then we'll go into like we'll talk about like the DPM since it's like fairly similar, and you can maybe go through. I mean, you can go through like the rotation and stuff later, but
yeah, I would probably say like C minus D. It's like you're weighing against the average, and it's definitely not above average. So it's either average or slightly below.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, there are true DPM classes that used to have like a normal damage profile, but now they don't, right? Like Zero used to be like the DPM demon, but now it just has crazy burst too. So Sixth Job might have messed up some of my reference. Maybe it's worse than I think. Maybe it's better than I think. But I feel like it's a C.
Okay. Okay. That's kind of fair. And what would you say like the in terms of like, because it's weird because of the way that your burst works, right? You're using it kind of like at the end of a buff that lasts a really long time. So what would you say is like the duration of your burst damage?
Well, so the spirit always lasts 30 seconds, and when you come out of your Ori, that's also around 30 seconds. So I would say that the burst is 30 seconds.
Okay.
But and your AB also lasts close to 30 seconds organically. But your Ozring is only ever going to last 20. I don't remember what they made Roar 6 last, but like I don't know how realistic that is for right now anyway. I don't think that's really the
Roar 6
target audience. In KMS, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Limbo, yeah, we'll get it when Baldrix comes out. Limbo and Baldrix have a different grindstone that makes level 6 rings. It doesn't really matter for here.
Okay. No, and no one's going to get that for like a year, let's be real.
Well, it comes from the normal modes too. So if people high roll, they'll probably have it like the first week, but most people won't have it. You can also play this class with Kant. You don't have to play this class with Roar. It's actually really, really close and arguable if Roar 5 is even better, depending on your Hexa.
Okay.
So I would say 30 seconds, because if you don't even actually need to play with Roar and you're playing with Kant, then you're still hard 30 seconds. Like, then you don't have any skill shorter than that.
Yeah.
And the boss at this point, for most runs, like you have Ori bind into regular bind into Jenny, is also going to be bound for that 30 seconds. So yeah. I think I would pretty safely say that's the burst.
Okay, cool. Let's get into the DPM stuff then. So let's talk about like what's going on.
So it's really good and it's really easy.
Yep.
You press your 1 minutes every minute so that they're up for your 2 minute and up for your 1 minute. Mm-hmm. So that's Ice Age and Lightning Orb.
Mm-hmm.
You press AB off cooldown also, just like every other class does, every minute.
Mm-hmm.
And then you press Bolt Barrage off cooldown every 40 seconds, which is you just tap it twice and you're done. And then other than that, you're just pressing Ice Ball off cooldown and holding down Chain Lightning. So for the 55 seconds before you press your 1 minute, you're just doing this. It's really easy.
So your skills that have
and it does good damage.
Your skills that have cooldowns that are the same, you line them up and press them back to back. And then and then you press the ones that I guess like are half the time or whatever. So you're pressing kind of like, sometimes you're pressing like, 3 or 4 cooldowns back to back and then holding your
default state is Ice Ball off cooldown, hold down Chain Lightning.
Yeah.
And then every 2 minute you're popping everything so that your keyboard is gray. And then otherwise, you're pressing stuff when it comes up, because 40 times 3 is still 2. And with Merc cooldown, the length of the animations and stuff like that is kind of a wash. So your stuff should always be up.
Yeah.
You don't really have to worry too much about it.
Yeah, okay.
And then you just Infinity every 2 minutes. So like there's stuff on paper that looks complicated, but in practice you're just pressing stuff the same time every time, no matter what.
Yep.
With really not much thinking. So you just, you spend an hour or two kind of getting used to it, and then it's free.
Okay. So what would you rank your off-burst damage then? Yeah.
I would say B.
Yeah?
I think it's better than average, and especially better than average compared to the burst. So I would say the C burst, B off burst.
Better than average, okay. I usually say like B is probably about average. So like if you think it's like, enough better than average, then we can bump it up to A.
Well, you do still do like almost half your damage in that burst window.
Yeah.
It's like 40-something%. So the other half being 75% of the time.
Yeah.
I don't know. That sounds pretty reasonable to me. That's, my Kana does way more damage in its burst, but it's also a 3 minute class, right? My Marksman does similar. So I don't really have great reference points, because a lot of the classes I play tend to be kind of similar.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it's above average, maybe B plus, but like it's not good enough to call it A. I don't think.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That's fine. We can leave it like that then. Okay, we'll come back to this and talk about like your rotation and like the specifics of what your skills are doing.
Sure.
We can get into the mobility now though. So
yeah,
you talked about it a little bit, but if you just want to like go over it again, like what skills you have that are actually moving your character, and what options you have, and maybe any like little tricks that you know that you can
like, sure. Yeah, sure. Yeah. So we do have the 3 different teleport ranges. We have base teleport, which you just get for free with your second job if you don't turn anything on.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have teleport mastery, which looks like it should make it go longer, but it doesn't. It just adds damage to it. And then teleport boost, which makes it go farther. But then we also have a hyper passive that's an extra boost that you can turn on. That will... Oh, it didn't used to replace teleport boost. That's actually a nice QOL. I didn't realize they did that. You used to just be able to have both visually, but only one would do something. I guess they cleaned that up. That's good. So now it's even longer. So you can use that to, traverse maps more easily, or like close gaps in Kalos or any other, large boss like Hilla. If you get, pushed, the longer TP is just obviously better at closing distance. I think that kind of explains itself. And then the shorter TP for when you need to dodge specific things like will legs or anything like that as you're learning the spacing for bosses. But most people have a different preference, and they all work. You can just set it to whatever distance you like the best.
Yeah.
And you'll be fine. We do have mage float. So you start floating or falling as soon as you press jump a second time. And then you can blink into it or anything like that. Like, it doesn't lock you out of anything else. All 3 explorer mages have that. We have this up jump that's very similar to Adele's up jump. I think that's what they copied. But like maybe a year ago, they just gave basically every class some kind of basic mobility. Before that, it used to be pretty rough, but now it's, it's quite comfy. Other than that, I mean, we have blink. Everyone has blink. And that's kind of it. We don't really, we're a teleport class. So that's already like insane movement for free.
Yeah.
So, you can TP out of a jump, and you can TP to a plat if you're jumping, but it's not like bam. Like, you can't TP to nothing. There has to actually be something you're trying to go to.
Okay.
So it's an average teleport. It's not like cracked like Lumis or Bams.
Yeah.
But it's got a long distance, and they both have, unless you're in equilibrium, Lumis is very short. So it does everything you need it to. It just doesn't do anything flashy.
Okay.
So probably
someone said, can you crouch TP?
Yes, you can. Yeah. So if you Q an attack, it's like kind of like telecasting a crouch instead of telecasting a skill. So this is useful in Saren. You go under the banana.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've done Saren yet, but
I have. Yeah.
The banana is very annoying, right? It stuns you. It messes you up. And like, you might have a pillar on you where you're ducking. So you're like, oh, I can't be here anymore. Yeah. You can just crouch TP. If you mess it up, you'll stand up. And if you do it right, you won't.
Okay.
But it's not that hard. You practice it for maybe 10 minutes and then you get it. Yes. You're just, instead of telecasting a chain lightning or whatever you're used to telecasting, which is just kind of buffering an input into teleport so that it comes out as you're TPing, so that you'll move and kind of get around the lockout a little bit on the skill.
Okay.
You just do a crouch instead. It's mechanically very easy.
Yeah. All right.
But I think it only matters in Saren. I don't know. I mean, maybe Limbo, but there's not much that crouching helps.
Yeah. All right. So sorry. What did you say you wanted to rank the mobility then?
Probably B or A. A teleport is just so fundamentally broken in that you move through space without being hit in between it. That like, I kind of feel like every TP class is probably auto A.
Yeah.
Assuming that there's S, right? I would say whatever the second highest is.
Yeah.
Because teleport is just absurd. When you have to flash jump through a boss's, hitbox, you're actually in danger.
Yeah.
When you just TP through it because your range is massive, you're just so safe. Like, it's just such a good skill. It's so fair. Insane. I don't know. It's crazy. Teleport is a godsend.
I'm like, this is like a big part of the reason that I wanted to get people on here to like talk about their thoughts about it, because I'm so I'm such a teleport hater. Like, just in my bones, I just think a class that doesn't have flash jump just feels disgusting to play. But that's just me, right? So it's like, it's nice to actually get someone on here to be like, yes, teleport is superior. It is the best. Like, otherwise I'm just sitting here like talking shit about teleport all the time and how mad I am that I can't move fast and like I can't attack in the air or whatever, jump around and so
yeah. Flash jump is more satisfying to use, but it is a worse movement option because you actually occupy all of the space that you traverse.
Yeah.
So like, there just is no character model here.
Yeah.
So if the boss is doing a short range attack, I'm never hit by it no matter what.
Yeah.
That's just so like in a 2D game where there's only ever like, you know, so much of the screen you can even get hit on in the first place.
Yeah.
Ignoring that with a movement skill is just so good.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's that's solid for the people who like the way that it feels, that it plays, for sure.
Yeah. If you don't like the feeling, then you probably prefer a dash.
Yeah.
But when you dash through something and get stunned, it feels quite a bit worse.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about your survivability. So what kind of stuff do you have in your kit that would allow you to like stay inside of attacks that otherwise would, put your life in danger? So like healing, shielding, iframes, damage reduction, door, anything like that.
Your bind is also an iframe that you can hold down as long as you want up to its natural end 10 seconds later. So if there's ever a horrible pattern before you're libbed, or you're like blue dotting or getting carried, or it's a mule you're setting up or whatever, it's a great emergency button, when it's not your origin, or you just don't like what's going on in the boss. Like sometimes you'll have some horrible black mage pattern and you're just like, all right, I'm going to take a 10-second break. Let me scratch my nose a little and I'll go in my little bubble. You do have to be very careful that you don't use it when the boss is bindable because you will grief the bind timer.
Yep.
But as long as you're aware of that, then, this skill is just very, very, very good. And it's on a 2-minute cooldown. So 10 seconds every 2 minutes. That's just Jenny. And like, obviously people herald Jenny as a great skill when it goes off. Yeah. Because we all have pressed Jenny and had it not go off. But you also have the mage skill ethereal form, which right now is kind of janky. But after the 2-minute and all of the other skill cleanup changes will become a true iframe instead. I'm trying to find it on here. I know it's my N button, but I don't have my N on my hotkey. So you don't take hits when you're in it, but you instead take damage to your MP until it runs out, which it basically never runs out. It lasts, I think it's 2.5, 3 seconds, depending on the level. It lasts as long as whatever pattern you're trying to dodge. But the problem is it's only HP. So you'll still take a bunch of curses or erosion or whatever. Yeah. And it's on like a per line basis. So like old Kalos dive would just kill you through it anyway because it did so many lines and it just ate all your mana and then killed you. Now it doesn't. You live through it now. Yeah. And this is not even staying this skill, in 1 to 3 months when GMS gets the rest of the stuff that we know is face up on the table. This will just be a true iframe. So that plus TP, is already just so good at getting you out of whatever sticky situation you accidentally put yourself in. Plus this Hero's Will-esque skill that we talked about earlier. Yep. That just gives you 30 seconds of no status. So this does not work on Black Mage specifically. You do get cursed. Okay. But you don't get stunned or any of the other annoying statuses, but like you're not invincible. You do still take curse stats if you just tank a bunch of stuff. Okay. And you do still take normal HP damage. So if you combine this with Ethereal Form, you're doing all right, but you usually use this to protect yourself during burst. And that way you won't get blinded, you won't get sealed, you won't get pushed, well, you get pushed by super knockback, but you won't get, you know what I mean? You won't, your burst won't get messed up, you won't get knocked out of roar and stuff like that. Yeah. So all of that, pretty good to survive. Infinity also, I think, has some random healing on it, but it doesn't really do anything. You don't notice this. Okay. It's like if one person in your party took out small healing fams, like it probably saves you once a fight and you don't notice it, but like you're not like staring at your buff bar like, oh, only 3 more infinity ticks and I'm at full. Like, okay. So it's there as like text, but in practice you don't really feel it. You also have Magic Guard just permanently from first job onward, but it doesn't do anything for like non-mobbing attacks because every boss in the game past like CRA is all percentage based. Yeah. So It just doesn't do anything to percentage attacks.
Yeah.
But when you're like really weak, or if you're doing like Challenge World or whatever, first character, it's nice to just not get like clipped by mobs.
Yep.
When you're trying to like go to Forsaken Excavation Site or whatever. So.
Okay.
That, I think holistically it's probably an A. It's pretty hard to die on this class if you're looking at your screen. You're not invincible like Kana, but like you have good movement options. You have panic buttons.
Okay, but for the way that I rank survivability is like movement is not a part of the ranking at all.
Okay. Well then probably B or C. You have A class iframe and A second iframe, but everyone already has Jenny. So the value of the second plus iframe is a lot worse than the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And your iframe you can't attack during either of them.
Yeah.
The new one will still not let you attack during it. It'll just make you true invincible instead of the janky thing it is now. So you can't use either of these like offensively like you can Jenny.
Yeah.
So they're both, noticeably worse. So yeah, I'd probably say B, maybe C. I don't know what you have to be D tier. Like if you have absolutely none.
Yeah, basically nothing.
Yeah, so then I would say B. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, solid. Okay, so let's go back and talk about your like damage skills again, your rotation. So if you want to get into the specifics of like what your skills are doing,
yeah, sure.
If there's any because you said like some stuff is like applying stacks, and then your lightning skills are like removing stacks and whatever. Just
yeah, it's really unfortunate that the GMS tooltips are so bad because there is no such skill as like ice stacks or like ice mastery or like whatever. You would expect it to be like some passive in first job or in beginner that you could like read and be like, oh, this is how my class works. There is no such skill. There's a second job skill that tells you eat the stacks and you get a bonus. And there's a fourth job skill that says the same thing but for different stats. And that's it. That's all you get.
Okay.
So you can see the ice stacks like on the boss. Usually, I think I don't know if it works on the dummy, and I also don't know if it works like if you can see it with all these animations not super high. But there's like a little icicle that'll show up. I'm gonna try to go to anything else to show it.
You can turn the animations down too if you want to.
Yeah, just for this, because otherwise, that's not. Because otherwise, it's kind of hard to see.
Yeah. Top slider in effects. Yeah. There you
go. Just go to whatever boss. Doesn't matter. So you see like an icicle above his head, and then there's a different sixth job passive also. So that's that icicle.
Oh,
the 5 that's showing up intermittently. So that's the number of ice stacks on the boss. It caps at 5.
Okay.
And then as I chain lightning him once, it went to 4, and I got a stack of the other thing. But then it went back up to 5 because of my other passive, right? The aura we talked about that you can place on the ground. So as I chain lightning him, I'll eat these stacks, and I'm kind of getting them back close to as fast as I'm eating them, but you can see it flicker to like 3 and 4.
Yeah.
If I do any attacks with it not at 5, I'm not getting the max bonus. So that's bad. That's why you have to ice ball off cooldown.
So wait, does it consumes all stacks at once?
No, it consumes one per.
One at a time,
but the bonus that you get is based on how many total were there.
Oh, okay.
So the 5th attack in a row is much worse than the first attack if you're not reapplying.
Yeah, okay.
Then there's this new skill that's part of the 4th mastery core that's related to how many ice stacks you've eaten. And I think it's every 13. It's either 12 or 13. It does an attack.
Okay.
So that's Cryoshock. That's it's the fake passive that we got from the Hexa.
Yeah.
From the other core that enhanced Lightning Orb. So yeah, this just does damage passively. You don't have to press a button. It doesn't light up. You don't have to do anything. It's not a toggle. You don't have to turn it on. But so that interacts with ice stacks also. Otherwise, you're getting crit damage and damage, which are both very good.
Yep.
So you really have to make sure that you're applying ice stacks.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't have to do anything extra to do that. You just have to put ice ball on your keyboard and press it when it lights up, and then you're done. So it's kind of a fake mechanic in practice.
Okay.
But it'll grief you if you ignore it, but it's not hard to upkeep.
Yeah.
And then so your ice skills also give it right? So your ice skills are the longer cooldowns, and Bolt Barrage is the short cooldown, very good skill, but that's lightning.
Yep.
So all your lightning skills will eat the stacks. I think Jupiter Thunder might not eat the stacks. It might say that in the tooltip. There's too many words. But it doesn't matter because you're going to be doing way more lightning attacks after Jupiter Thunder anyway, because it's giving them FD.
Okay.
So even during that, you still ice ball. Like there are arguments about whether you need to ice ball during your burst or not. I still do because it's one extra button, and it's nicer to be in a rhythm than it is to like not press it once for 10 seconds. Oh, I can't clear that. So I press it during my burst, which I think is like a half FD loss. It's technically wrong. You do as I say, not as I do.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's much comfier to just do that. That way you don't have to think about it at all, and kind of everything is second nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why some of the bosses, like I don't know why it didn't show up on the dummy, but it does show up on bosses. But yeah that's the ice stacks.
Okay.
So I don't actually remember what question I was answering at the beginning of this. Sorry.
No, I was just trying to get you to describe the skills and what's going on with them.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So you do also have summons that we saw earlier.
Yep.
So
those summons that you were just running around with, those are like 100% uptime?
They are, but you can't auto buff them and you can't buff sequence them, which is a little yucky. So I just kind of pressed the shorter one like a sicko off, like anytime there's downtime.
Yep.
Like how we used to press Maple Warrior every 2 minutes, even though it was a 40-minute duration. Okay. But it is a wasted input. Like you do like go into something, so you don't want to just like hold it down or press it every time there's downtime. I just try to do it anytime I'm safe.
Yep.
But you'll notice when it's not there. It's like 6 FD. Okay. It's a good skill.
Yeah.
The Elkeen's is not very good, but it gives ice stacks. So just like Ice Ball, we wouldn't press it if we didn't have to, but because of the ice passive, you want him kind of whacking whatever's in front of you.
Sure, yeah.
That's it. There's the only summons. The other thing, the planted like vortex automatically goes back to the toggle when the vortex ends. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to repress it. You just have to plant it by holding down the down arrow and pressing the button, and then you're good. And it'll go right back to being on your buff bar at the end. Okay. So there's very little you have to manage.
So how many toggles do you have?
So on my keyboard, I have one macro for 3 toggles. Okay. Like one of the in-game macros. Yeah. And then I press mana overload manually. Okay. That's it.
So you have 4 toggles.
Yeah. You can turn on more toggles. They're kind of a scam, but we can talk about them. So
I mean, if you don't use them, or if there's no reason to, then it doesn't really matter. Well, it's just
I think new players might get tricked by them. Yeah. Because they're not explicitly bad skills, so this just leaves ice behind you when you TP. Except maybe it doesn't work in this map, or maybe I need my transparency different again. Let's put that back. So it leaves ice behind you when you TP. But in practice, again, all this does is put you in combat when you want to ring swap, and it does horrible damage. Okay. And you're not TPing around instead of attacking, so like you're not trying to move that often, so you don't really want to be like doing this with your chain lightnings instead of staying in place. Yeah. So you're not going to upkeep this. It's not going to let you ring swap, and it does very bad damage. Okay. And it doesn't mob very well either. So I don't ever turn it on, but it's kind of personal preference. If you're going to play Kant and you never need to ring swap anyway, it's like, horrible damage, but it's free. If you like the way it looks, play with it on, but you're not missing anything. Okay. So there's that, and then there is also Teleport Mastery, which again, it does horrible damage and it keeps you in combat. But if you like it, you can turn it on. I don't know why you would, but you're certainly allowed to. It's not. Neither of these are good enough damage to ever kill a mob. So like, there's kind of no practical reason for them. Apparently, someone says that toggle, the one that leaves the ice behind, doesn't actually put you in combat anymore. Okay. Well, then, if you don't mind the visual clutter, you should turn it on. Yeah. I'm still probably not going to, because it's 2% damage, like literally 2%. Yeah. But. Yeah, I mean, if you want it on, then there's no reason not to. You already don't need to worry about the swapping if you're in Kant setup anyway. Yeah. But Yeah, those are, turn them on, leave them off. They don't really matter that much as toggles. And then you can kind of call the Hero's Will more of a toggle than an active, because you just pre-pop it. It goes on your buff bar, and then it does its thing when it needs to block a status. And then it goes on cooldown when it activates. So you press it before you go into a boss, right? It's not really a toggle because it turns itself off and goes on cooldown and all of that, but it shows up on your buff bar and you want to press it before you go in. So it's kind of like a toggle, I guess.
Okay.
But yeah, there's not a ton of button management. You just have to make sure you resummon the guys.
So on the topic of pressing things before you go in, when you're doing a group or even just like non-group bosses, whatever, when you're about to do a boss, do you press your infinity, like try to line it up so it's fully stacked as you like go into a boss? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I often my party will just let me be lead so that I can go in when I'm ready.
Yeah. Okay.
But I just like kind of ask the party like, okay, all 6 of us are in VC. We're all on the right map. Does everyone have all of their buffs? Yeah. And if everyone has all of their buffs, then I'm pressing infinity. Yep. And we're going in about 60 seconds. Yep. And I'll give everyone a 5-second warning to pop their Wild Hunter, pop their Fatal, whatever time they ask me for. But that's basically it. If you're waiting for someone's infinity to cook, they could probably manage that better because your infinity never changes. You're always cooking it for that same amount of time. Yep. So you do have to wait, but it's less time than someone stacking Freuds or whatever. And everyone's kind of, if their class has something like that, they're pretty used to, managing their party's expectations.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Yeah, just good to know because I haven't played like any of the Explorer mages yet, so I literally just didn't even know about Infinity. I think I've heard about it, but I didn't actually really know what it did. So. Oh yeah, it's okay. Like kind of the whole thing. Yeah. Like it's so fundamental to the kit. Yeah, for sure. Okay, makes sense. So in your biased opinion, this is gonna be one of two like biased ranking that I ask you to do. What would you rank this class's like play style and rotation in terms of like how much fun you have and how engaged it keeps you in boss fights?
I mean, mechanically, it's kind of boring. You just kind of press all your stuff and it sits there, and then even during your burst, you're back on holding down Chain Lightning and Ice Ball. Okay. Visually, it's beautiful. So, I mean, that does... I play with all this stuff turned off, so that's not really something I care that much about. But it does... Like, if you like looking at stuff while you're holding down the buttons, that'll keep you engaged also. But, like, I mean, you get to TP around, and you can TP inside of a roar, and it still covers the length. So, like, depending on what the boss is doing, and if you have a roar 5 and you have the 20-second duration, sometimes you have to, like, make sure that you're positioning so that you can keep hitting. Yeah. You want to be on the edge of something, but like your skills all have pretty big hitboxes and are all like kind of pre-popped anyway. So like if the boss moves out of your Spirit of Snow, there's nothing you can do. You don't get to like resummon it or something with a key. Yeah. So that you're not really managing anything. You're just ice balling and chain lightning after you mashed a bunch of buttons. Yeah. Okay. So I would say that it's probably pretty boring and extremely easy. Okay. But like there's skill sequence classes now. So like extremely easy is like, well, I just pressed like 8 buttons that you can't put on skill sequence, and Night Lord pressed 1 button and then dashed towards the boss. Yeah. So in the era of skill sequence, it's simple, but you are pressing a lot of buttons, and if you do them in a bad order, you do lose damage. So I guess for that reason, it's moderately difficult. It's probably like a C, maybe a B, because like, you can also miss Jupiter Thunder, and if you die, it falls off the boss. Yeah. So, I mean, that griefs your burst. You lose 12 FD, and the skill is good too. So it's like probably 15 to 18 FD that you're losing if you like get killed during your burst. Plus, you'll lose Roar until we get that QOL. So it doesn't play itself. Like you don't have Bowmaster dummies, and you're not holding down Hurricane. Yep. I don't know. Probably middling difficulty. But it never changes. You don't have to like adapt.
I'm not talking about difficulty yet. I'm asking I'm asking you to give your ranking on basically how much fun you have playing this class. Like if I'm just asking the simplest, Okay. Sorry if that wasn't clear.
I have more fun mobbing than bossing, honestly. I think Chain Lightning is such a satisfying skill to watch just like rip through a map. But nowadays we just train with Janus mostly anyway. But like look at how many mobs I'm hitting.
Yeah.
To me, that is like very satisfying.
Yeah.
And you leave behind all these electric puddles. Like, this is one attack, and so much stuff just happened on my screen.
Yeah.
When you're just hitting a boss, you're always just hitting the boss. So I could kind of take or leave that. But I think that the mobbing is really pretty fun, actually. Even at low levels, like when you don't have Janice or whatever. I know we'll cover that later, but
yeah.
I think it's more engaging as a mobber than a bosser.
Okay. Okay. So, like, if you had to... I mean, you can give it 2 then. So, like, how much fun do you have mobbing and how much fun do you have bossing?
Like, A, mobbing, and, like, D, bossing. It's not really that fun. You're just kind of like a bot. You just like press your buttons when they light up according to your plan, and there's really not room to wiggle or do much.
Yeah, wild.
So
okay. Damn, you know what's actually look, I'm just gonna put things into context real quick. So I actually had another ICE Lightning Mage offer to do this. Like right at the beginning when I first talked about this series, and then during one of my interviews or something, I think they were in chat, and I said something to the person I was talking to about like, I don't need the best player of every single class. I just want people who are like, who've been playing it long enough, who've put in the time, who like have some experience doing some of the like later game, end game stuff, and who are like passionate enough about their class to like talk about it. And, you know, people who like what they're playing. I don't want to bring someone on who completely hates their class. And,
yeah, of course. Yeah.
And the guy said, the other guy who offered to do Ice Lightning said, yeah, well, you're going to have to find someone else for me then because I hate my class.
Oh, yeah, no, I love this class. Otherwise I would, I would be a bishop and I would do 99 other things. Like, why would you ever pick this class over bishop if you didn't love it?
Yeah. So it's just funny that when I ask you how much fun you're having, you're like, yeah, it's like a D. It's not that fun. After the other Ice Lightning Mage, after the other Ice Lightning Mage is like, yeah, no, I hate my class too. It's like, damn,
I mean, that's like, I'm also like kind of jaded, right? I'm like doing the same bosses, for months to years, and the only thing that changes is the difficulty and the loot box at the end.
You've also been doing dailies every single day since 2019, so
yeah. So like, the fun part is like the people that you hang out with, whether it's your boss party or who you're grinding with or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't really care like what stuff is coming out of my character when I'm in a boss yapping with 5 other people.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna put it like overall. I'm gonna put it like B average.
Sure.
Because like because of what you said. Like there are parts of it that are really fun, and then there are other parts that are just kind of like you're just going through the motions.
And I don't mind the simplicity of it either. I kind of like it. It's nice to be like, even if I'm bossing at 1 a.m. and I'm exhausted or whatever, I can still press all my buttons right. Like, I don't have to worry, oh shit, I griefed the run when it's already 1 a.m. and now I have to do another rerun and it just like spirals. You're like, no, I still remember what 7 buttons to press. I got this. Like,
yeah, fair enough.
So
okay.
Yeah.
Well, with that, let's start talking about the difficulty a little bit. So you kind of got into it, but overall, what would you say is like the difficulty level of playing this class?
So once you're used to managing your infinity, which I think someone can pick up pretty quickly,
especially if they already play a class that has to do it.
Yeah, if they play one of the other 2 Explorer mages, yeah, for sure. That's really that's really the hardest part of the class, because like if you're doing it wrong, you won't notice, right? You'll just do way less damage than you're supposed to with bad stacks of FD, but you'll have no idea why you're so weak, because you don't like. I had a friend who was doing their H-Will lib like maybe 2 years ago, and he just didn't know how infinity worked. He was just like, oh, this is the only boss I've ever had to solo. Why is my damage so bad? My gear is normal. And I like watched his VOD, and he infinity'd at the start of every burst. He was just missing like 60% FD every time he bursted for no reason, because he didn't know what the skill did. But once you like cycle this correctly, which is pretty trivial once you're used to it, I mean, all the other stuff, the 1 minutes are every 1 minute, the 40 is every time it lights up, and the 2 minutes are every 2 minutes. It's really not hard. You don't really ever have to adapt. Your skills don't skip. You don't have a gauge that you have to fill, right? Infinity is your fake gauge. You don't have to manage, you just resummon your summons every, this one every 2 minutes, this one when you remember to because it lasts so long. So there's really nothing that's hard, Just kind of have to like look at your screen. I don't know. I feel like it's a pretty simple class.
Yeah.
So I would probably, its difficulty is high tier hard or is high tier easy?
Yeah, high tier being hard, and then like low tier being like the easiest class in the game.
So yeah, you do still have to press all those buttons in order.
Yeah.
So it's harder than a skill sequence class, but yeah, probably C. If we're assuming that basically there are no Fs and the skill sequence classes are D, then I would say C.
Yeah. Or maybe there's only one F. I won't say who it is, but I think we all know. It's been mentioned in literally every single interview when we talk about difficulty so far. So
it's Bowmaster.
It's Bowmaster. It's Bow. Everybody knows what we're talking about. Yeah, it's Bowmaster. Okay, so let's talk about your party support. So like what kind of stuff do you bring to a party that I guess like it increases the reason for me to want to bring you along, right? So like any kind of buffs that I'll get, any kind of extra utility that you provide to the team. I think you said your bind lasts longer than 10 seconds. Yeah, the bind is
13
right?
seconds.
Yeah.
It's the best KMS bind, and it ties Sia and loses to Kana.
Yeah.
And 3 extra seconds every 2 minutes is not fake. That's actually like pretty nice.
Yeah, for sure.
You also, you can't brick it, and it gives marginal IED, but that's kind of, more of a joke than a real buff. But 13-second bind is quite nice. It does also slow bosses. Like they will actually walk slower.
Chills.
But in practice, a lot of bosses just TP around and they don't get affected.
Yeah.
But when you're in like BMP3 and he has to walk over, it's very slow. Especially if it stacks with frailty from a Night Lord. He like almost stops moving.
Okay.
So that helps in the bosses it matters in.
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything in Limbo. It doesn't do anything to Kalos. It doesn't do anything to Saren because she just kind of floats. It might do something to Baldrix, but it's more of like a novelty than a real buff.
Sure, yeah, okay.
But the bind is huge. Like I actively got recruited for an X-Kalos because they wanted a bind extender, and Kana's not 2 minute, and I am.
Yeah, okay.
So like it matters. It's very nice.
Yeah.
But that's it. You have meditation, which only gives mages something, and that's it.
Oh.
So you don't have any support. Like Epic Adventure, Stacks, whatever, the other explorers, like you have the same stuff as everyone else.
Yeah.
But there's no support, right? We have Ice Benny, which just puts an icon on your head, and that's it.
Wait, what does this do?
This is the plant skill that also passively gives stacks.
Oh, okay.
It shows up on your party members' buff bars too, even though it doesn't do anything for them.
Oh.
So.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, that's a buff, right? It shows up on their bar.
Yeah. Okay. You get one extra thing to clutter my buff bar that's already just actually a quarter of my screen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you'll get meditation too. Don't worry. We got some buffs for you.
Yeah. I need to make like a mage so I can actually play with one of these characters.
But so I think the bind on its own is good enough to make it probably B. Like most binds are 10 seconds. I think there's a few classes like Ho Young and maybe Nightwalker have like a 12, but they have to do weird stuff. This is 13 every time, trivially, and you can't miss it. It's really, really good.
Sure, yeah. I do think the slow is like, even though it's not really helpful in like the really late game bosses, for like a lot of the earlier stuff, it's probably like not bad, right?
It also just never hurts, right?
Yeah.
Like you're never going to be like, oh, that boss is getting far away from me too slowly.
Yeah.
Like it's very nice to not have it catch up to you. So yeah, it's marginal, but it's a plus.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. Give it like an average ranking of a B.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about your Hexa then. You talked about some of the things, like some of your masteries changing. It sounded like it was a lot of like passive damage and not necessarily like changing the way that you play, but
yeah, kind of. So let's go through the masteries.
Sure,
so,
yeah.
Chain lightning regular is like fine. Let's go to a mob map to show some of these off. Hopefully I still have the okay, good, we still have the animations. So regular chain lightning doesn't arc that far and doesn't have that predictable.
Can you turn Janus off? I can't really.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Well, I can just toggle it to the other one, and that's probably easier because I don't know if you can take Janus off.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Let me turn off Broomy as well.
Everybody always comes in, procs Broomy when I get to this phase, and then they're like, "Oh shit, I gotta turn that off." My rage.
So your chain lightning, like, you can see it's arcing through a lot of mobs because I'm not in Infinity. I'm not one-shotting them, but like all I have to do is cycle that, and then it'll go back to cleaning up the map. But your ice ball is really bad, not Hexa. It goes to the edge of a plat and then stops.
Okay.
And it slows down in mobs, but also it doesn't slow down in bosses. So it'll do that same sort of slow pass through when it's connected to mobs, and it'll just fly free when it's not touching anything and get stuck at the edge of a platform. When it's hexed, it'll go off of... Oh, that's not the right way to fix it. I have to put on my boost notes. Which one is it? Frozen Orb. I call it Ice Ball, but it's called Frozen Orb, sorry. It becomes massive. Wait, does that not... Do I not have the right nodes on? What do I need? Oh, are they not boosted? What? I feel like such a clown. I put the right nodes on.
All good.
How does... Do I have to, like, leave the map? I don't really take my nodes off, usually.
No, it should... Once you put the nodes back on, it should be fine. Put on all
these
four.
Are on. Yeah, I'll just... Yeah.
Just in case. There might be, like, a second skill that needed to be boosted in the Mastery as well.
Yeah, it is. It's Blizzard.
Yeah.
I'm just silly. Yeah, because it's a double skill. Yeah, it's Blizzard. So
all good.
Then the ball is massive, flies faster, and doesn't slow down on mobs.
Okay.
So you just can kind of like clear most of a map with this.
Yeah.
And it flies off the platform. So it's very, very, very nice for mobbing.
Okay.
It also does slow down inside of a boss, the way that the unhexa one slows down inside of everything. So you can actually keep it on the boss, and it'll keep giving you those ice stacks that you so desperately want.
Yep.
Without you needing to worry about it flying away. It also does, obviously does better damage and whatever else.
Yeah.
But the chain lightning gets more spread, hits one more mob, and leaves behind puddles that also do good damage.
Okay.
Like that's that up there, these electric currents.
Yeah.
So the chain lightning is a big buff to the base damage, so that matters for, bossing and everything else. But it's also just much more comfy to use, right? You get the +1 mob, so chain lightning's logic pre-6th job is not the best. Sometimes it doesn't, like in a group of 12 mobs, it won't kill the same 9 or 10 every time. You might leave one in the bottom right because it arced differently, or you might leave one in the bottom left, or you might have two too close together. Like some weird stuff can happen.
Yep.
Hexa has enough of a combination of more damage and more like max hits that you don't really have that problem anymore. Consistently, the stuff in front of you all gets killed. So that's also very nice. You don't have to worry about what's going on in front of you.
Okay.
But that's it. The first Hexa is just Chain Lightning, and the second one is just Ice Ball and Blizzard. Blizzard doesn't really do anything. It's like a nice little visual, but the real meat of the skill is the passive. That's the bottom half. That says at a percent chance. It goes up with your Hexa. Like, it goes up when you Hexa it, but not as you level the Hexa. I think it's like every 5 levels. It's weird. It starts at 60 and it goes up to 70, but I don't remember if it's linear. It spawns an icicle, and that just happens like when you're in combat. So that's that icicle that just spawned up here. Hopefully you can see my mouse. I've been pretending the whole time that you can. Okay. So that just happens, like, even if you're just Chain Lightning, and you don't even have to be using an ice skill.
Okay.
You'll just get procs of it. So that's very good. The actual damage for bossing on this is not from the Ice Ball boost, right? You're pressing Ice Ball off cooldown because you have to, but it's still much worse than Chain Lightning. The free damage from Blizzard is pretty nice.
Okay.
The third skill is this hyper skill Lightning Orb. So let's take these back off. Just that one should turn off, just the 2 that I intended to, right? All right, whatever. It turned off Chain Lightning too. That's fine. We already covered that. So it's a hyper. It's got a 1-minute cooldown, and it looks like this. Oh, you can't see anything because of the mobs. I'm gonna do that in town. That was a bad plan. We can cover the other one while we wait for that cooldown.
Sure.
So the other one makes your summons bigger. and have better animations and better damage and better hitboxes.
Wait, these guys look so dinky compared to the other ones you had out. Okay.
Yeah. So the Elkeen's is not actually that good, right? He's just kind of an ice stack machine. Yep. But the Thunderstorm is very good. And I guess we'll go back to a mob map to show this. You can plant the Thunderstorm, and it's like an Urda Fountain. If you hold down when you press it, it just stays there and hits mobs. And it does good damage. It's like better than Urda Fountain damage-wise. So the range on that AoE also goes up. Sorry, I'm getting mogged by an AFK mob. The range also goes up when you like re-hexa it.
Yep.
Which I don't think it'll let me do because I'm in combat. Oh, it desummoned it. Okay. So yeah, the real one is much bigger and edgier. Let's get rid of this rune warning. This is annoying me. It's bigger and edgier. Oh, and now I'm standing on top of a rune effect. And then Elkeen's is also like much meatier. Right, he's got all these spikes and whatever. His hitbox is bigger, so he's gonna help you out with ice more. But he's still, it's for the ice stacks.
Yeah.
And then so lightning orb. Let's go outside of the mob map for that one. So lightning orb's base looks like this. Am I still not? So it's like pretty big, pretty flashy. But the Hexa one looks better, does more damage, has a slightly bigger hitbox. But you're really using that boost node for the passive that does the free damage as you consume ice stacks.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't, Lightning Orb doesn't matter that much. It was already a fine skill, and it gets an average amount of free damage as you level it, but it's actually a worse node slightly than just the 2 summons, and one of the 2 summons is already junk too, so this is like a fake burst skill. It looks good, it's a hyper, it's got a 60-second cooldown, and it feels like it should hit hard, and it's okay. It's only a little bit better than the chain lightnings that you miss out on from holding it down so long.
Okay.
So it's kind of a scam, but it's fine. I mean, you know, damage is damage.
Yep.
But so when you hexa it, it's like, it just looks more angular. I don't really know how to describe it, but it looks better and it does more damage, and it's got a slightly bigger hitbox. Yeah. So you're getting that for free when you really are just doing it for the passive, which was the other icicle.
Yeah. Okay. Your origin.
And that's it. I mean,
your origin is like not just damage, right? It's also a summon for like 30 seconds.
It's background, so yes, but it operates a little bit differently than a summon. Right, because summons like disappear when you die and then respawn and have to re-aggro and whatever else when you res. If you like the boss is over here and I die and I res here again, this is still hitting as soon as I res, right? It doesn't have to like reattach and walk over and be in the hit range and whatever. Night Lords has an effect like this, but I don't actually know if it works the same way because they get like extra tags or something. Phantom has something like this. Bishop has something like this. There's a couple of origins like this where there's some crazy background effect.
Yeah.
But ours doesn't do anything other than damage and blind you.
Okay.
But the damage is fine. Like the origin on hit, even though it's only about half the damage of the whole skill, is a satisfying amount of damage. So like the whole of the origin, it's a good origin. It's at least average, if not above average. It's not weak.
Okay. So what would you say like the need for someone to unlock, like the need for 6 job is on this class for like someone who wants to try it out?
So the 3rd and 4th masteries are kind of like throwaways. You know, they give you more damage and they increase some of the visuals, but they don't really matter for the playstyle. Getting the enhanced ice ball is so massive for farming and for bossing.
Yeah.
And then the same with chain lightning. Like the bigger, slightly bigger range, the better arcing, the puddles, like you're going to spend a lot of your time either bossing or mobbing, right? So hitting harder in bosses is good and hitting more mobs is good. So just 100% of the game that you play is going to be improved by unlocking these two.
Yeah.
And Ice Ball is like more like a bigger mobbing increase than Janus because the class already has 2 summons.
Yep.
You can just skip Janus outright if it's a mule.
Okay. Damn.
So the The unfortunate part is that just like Hero, our 5th job skills are just damage.
Yeah.
There's no mechanical change. There's no,
Yeah.
you know, juicy boost. It's all just linear 60s.
Yep.
So you don't really, you know, if you unlock these on a mule, it doesn't change the playstyle at all. It's just more damage.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think the importance of like the playstyle, I don't know, probably like C minus, D, because it's really just these 2 skills. The other 2 masteries are throwaways, and the 5th jobs don't do anything, and you don't even need Janus.
Yeah.
So, and the origin is, again, it's just a bunch of damage. It's not, you know, drastically changing your gameplay experience. And I feel like more classes have more than just 2 boost nodes, like more than just 2 Hexa skills. Either they get some kind of crazy thing on their 5th, or they unlock new skills, or their new passive is like something set. Like the passive just procs automatically, right?
Yeah.
It's just, again, it's just more damage. So it's definitely nice to have. The damage gain from Hexa on this class is a normal amount of damage. It's
okay.
I think right now it's like 80 FD. It's within the bounds of what all the other classes get. It's just spread out in kind of a not exciting way. But like hitting harder is already exciting, so that's fine.
Okay. Okay. Let's talk about your farming then.
Yeah, so the farming is great.
Yeah. Apparently.
So
sounds like it.
Let's go to a map that people will actually go to that without Janus, because I don't think anyone's going to go to Talhart without Janus. So you have your class summon, and then you have Urda Fountain as well, and then you have the crazy sized ice ball that just triple plats.
Yep.
So looks like Fountain isn't conducive to this map, but my ice ball is killing all 3 of these platforms.
Yep.
And all I'm doing is standing here holding down the button. And I haven't summoned Janus at all. If you had Dusk, these guys die, this guy dies, and the whole map dies with level 1.
Yeah.
And this should be like a 38 or a 39 spawn map. This map's pretty big. If I go to a more reasonably sized map with those same summons, I don't know if you know anything about Reg, but there's like an item that basically triples spawn.
Yeah.
I still clear the map on that.
Yeah.
In this map at least. So you can also cycle your various summons if anything's on cooldown from switching maps like I just did. Like I can't replace my little lightning guy right now, and it's fine. I just throw Spirit of Snow there instead. You used to, before Fountain would really kill stuff, it would like 2-tick and you'd have Lucid Soul and all kinds of other stuff. Ice Ball was still fine, and Chain Lightning also still has the, like, you know, hits more than just the plat you're on. So even if you're Chain Lightning farming, because the way that the summons work out in the map, it's better to do that. You should be able to full clear every map without Janus.
Yeah.
Or at least every map that people would go to. I'm sure there's some crazy design maps that have, like, you know, infinite platforms that no one goes to, but any good map you can full clear very comfortably.
Yeah. And then also, like, even without all of those summons and everything else, you also have Chain Lightning, which is just a wild skill.
And then Ice Age also just kind of kills the whole map when you cast it.
Okay.
So that's like 15 seconds of comfort to go replace your summons, or like if you don't have a back pet and you kind of have to putz around on the actual platforms to loot, that's a nice little reprieve. So that's up every minute. So you're going to have that easily every cycle of summons, and then also every time you're looting. So it's very comfy. It's definitely an S farmer.
Yeah. Yeah, it just has so much.
People used to have dedicated Ice Lightning farmers when you had like pseudo infinite Kishin. That you could put in the same map. It's definitely an S farmer. It's just so easy and so good.
Yeah. And a lot of options. So like if you're getting bored, you can just be like, I'm gonna change it up. I'm gonna do something else, because like like when we have the crazy rune Sundays and all the good maps are full, and I just go to a random map. Yeah, you can literally just go anywhere
like
with
5 minutes. I cook something else up and I still full clear. So very, very versatile.
Insane farming. Very good. Very good. All right. Lastly, let's talk about the animations. So lately what I've been doing, you already showed it off. I'll just say for anyone who's curious, we already showed the difference between the 5th job or like the non-masteried and the masteried skills. So you can go back to the Hexa section if you want to see the difference there. For here, I'm just going to get you to maybe just go through like all of your different skills one more time and just show off all the animations, hit your origin again, and then maybe just give me your like final thoughts on what you think about the animations as a whole.
Yeah, sure. So we'll go back to Dojo for that because it's probably a good place to showcase that. So let's, doesn't really matter, right? Just large unlimited, and that's fine. So I think the summons or the animations on this class are gorgeous. I will say I wish Nexon could maybe have thought of a second color because every single goddamn skill is blue. But I think they kind of had that problem on a lot of the explorers where they just kind of picked one color and then made them all that color.
Yeah, so they sure did.
You know. But the you know, and basically everything is like some kind of shapes, like some kind of spiky thing or orb. Like these 4 skills are like indistinguishable from their icon.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the icon art counts in this category or not, but the actual skills are all very different and like beautiful. Like blue is just such like a classic color. It doesn't really assault your eyes too much. And it just looks like everything is kind of like glowing because everything has this like light blue palette to it.
Yeah.
Also, like, who doesn't like lightning? Like, you know, Blizzard has a massive hitbox. Everything just kind of like feels meaty. Like, I'm a mage, and this is a bunch of shit I just conjured. Like, you know, look at me. Where like, there are definitely some classes where you press a button and you're like, huh, that wasn't that cool. I feel like every button on this class, something cool visually happens.
Yeah.
Like, you just have this giant Spirit of Elnath that you already probably recognize from Elnath that just chills out on your screen for 30 seconds and like kind of watching over you. The damage is just okay, but visually it's like gorgeous. Like this is better designed than most of the newer like characters. Like this is a boss entrance quality of animation, right? And like you have your big guys that follow you. I could kind of take or leave them, but they do look cool. Like they look like they'll mess you up.
Yep.
Bolt Barrage. Jupiter Thunder. I think this one gets an F. This one just blinds you.
Yeah. That one's epileptic seizure warning.
But other than that, I think all of the skills are awesome. Infinity also matches your color palette. Everyone else's is blue at their feet too, but all their skills aren't blue. So Bishop's just got all the yellow shit and then Infinity, and FP's got all the red and green and then Infinity. It matches. It's ours.
Nice.
You guys copied us. So yeah, I think the animations are gorgeous, but I feel like literally everyone thinks that their class's animations are gorgeous. Like,
yeah, but
I don't
that's
think
fine.
I've seen anyone give lower than an A.
Yeah, that's
to
fine.
their own class, but yeah, I think the animations in this class are awesome.
Yeah. Wait, hit the origin one more time.
Just,
yeah, and then give me a ranking while it's in the background.
I'm gonna say if it's biased S, if I'm being realistic.
Yeah, for sure biased.
I like this.
Yeah.
I know you put on the sunglasses, but I actually enjoy this background.
I think it looks great now.
Yeah. Now that the sun's out of your eyes.
No, it's not that bad. I've seen worse.
So.
Yeah. No, I think I like the animations a lot. I usually like tend to lean towards like ice type magic style stuff in a lot of games. So I think they did like a really good job with the animations on this class.
Yeah, everything just feels satisfying,
yeah,
like to see on your screen.
Especially with the masteries. The masteries do look way better.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that's also like the skills used to look even more bad, like more worse. Yeah. Pre-Destiny, where they revamped all the explorers. Like this class is old.
Yeah.
And the kit is old. So like, you know, they polished up what they could and they did a very good job. But I mean, it is one of the original classes.
Yeah.
So, you know. It definitely needed some love over the past bunch of years, and it got that love, and now it, you know, it's up to snuff, and it looks pretty good.
What do you think about the changes that it's getting? Also, what are the changes that it's getting when the 2-minute patch comes?
Very little, because we're already 2-minute.
Yep.
So the Oz ring change will be nice because it'll mean that you don't need to ring swap between weapon jump and roar.
Okay.
Because these are 3-minute cooldowns becoming 2 on the class that already, you know, has a bunch of 2-minute cooldown skills. So you obviously want a ring every time for that. And they are giving us, like I alluded to earlier, we're going to be, I think it's iframed for the first bunch of this and then damage reduced for the rest. But admittedly, I don't remember. It's the key down that we're stuck in and vulnerable right now. We're getting defensive something for while we're in it.
Okay.
I think it's reduced damage. It might be iframe at the beginning and then reduced damage, but it's safer to be stuck in that key down after the change. And you're already like, you know, you're already not really that unsafe. You just can't move. But you shouldn't ever die to this. Your bind is so long and you have so few things you need to do before the boss is unbound that this should always be during a bind and you should be pretty safe. Like, so that's it. We got like some slight damage increase on 1 passive or something. We basically don't get anything from 2-minute, but there are classes that got actively nerfed. So I'll take nothing. That's fine.
It's not like Blaster. I talked to a Blaster yesterday, and they're not looking so hot in the 2-minute change. But
yeah. Blaster got a lot from a mastery, and then I think they undid all of that or something. But yeah.
Okay, Chad, do you guys have any other questions? Someone's been wanting me to ask if your class is ping reliant at all.
It is not, but I do still use exit lag because it's much more comfy.
Okay.
But no, there's no ping on anything. No, I mean, no more than playing the game organically. Like, if you have 100 ping versus 80 ping or 40 ping or 200, whatever, your inventories and stuff like that are going to load slower because that's, you know, you just feel that when you're on a slower connection. But no, your attacks are not ping related at all. You don't have any gauge or filling or anything like that.
Okay. Do you use a cooldown potential, like minus something on your hat, or no?
You use int, but you use cooldown for culvert if you're trying to get off a second 2-minute burst, which you should do in theory, but in practice, I can't really get to line up right because I don't have a -4 and it's not an abso, so I don't really want to remake the abso. But I don't really like if I have. When we get the 23-star change, I'm always thinking like a year ahead. So when we get the 23-star change, if I have a bad event like I did when I was making my Eternals initially, and I boom all my hats, I'm going to need a real hat to wear. And I don't want to roll off of this. And I don't want to make another one with the spares that I need to go for 23. So if I had a cooldown hat lying around, I would use it. But it's just too resource intensive to make one compared to saving those resources for actual damage. Because it's culvert only.
Your inner ability, what do you run?
So you need attack speed.
Okay.
You need buff duration. And then you can take whatever you get for the third thing between boss, abnormal, stuff like that. But obviously 10's more than 8. But you need attack and buff. Because this buff plus the 4th job skill that gives you 50, but really 55 because of combat orders buff. Plus your Legion board, plus your mechanic, plus your traits. That's it. Those are the only sources of buff duration in the game. So if you give up on a massive 38% source, then your infinities are going to blow. You're going to have downtime on them. Like it's just a must.
Okay.
And then most of your damage is in reality is coming from chain lightning. And so you need attack speed 10 for that. It's not actually most like over 50%, but it's most like the biggest slice of your BA because you're just pressing it like 90+% of the time. And it is obviously it's affected by attack speed. So if you have AS10 like you need or AS0, whatever the max rank, whatever people want to call it, you do more chain lightnings. So that's just the GMS must.
Okay.
So I don't actually know what KMS takes. I would assume it's 50 buff, but I actually don't know because they don't have attack speed. But they would just take abnormal for the third one.
Okay. Well, that's pretty much all I got to
artifact too,
ask you today. That covers everything, I think. Guys, am I forgetting anything that people have been wanting me to ask? I think that's everything. I think we're good, bro. That was very insightful, very helpful. Chills.
My only goal was to not be flative. So
I mean, you'd have to botch it first, and then you'd have to go swap to fire poison or something after.
Yeah, with a level 10 weapon. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think people should play this class more. I think it's kind of unfortunate that the way that Nexon made 6th job, you can't swap, right, between the mages.
Yeah.
Where you used to be able to.
Unless...
So there were a lot more people. Well,
unless...
You used to be able to swap for free.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
true.
That meant that you could kind of fluidly play all 3 mages and like play the one that you liked the most on that patch. And like a lot of Explorer mages were just kind of all 3, like mains of all 3, because you just got used to playing them all.
Yep.
When they made everyone pick a lane, back when Bishop was even more broken than it is now, where it was giving, you know, almost 60, 70 FD to the people in your party, you just kind of had to be an insane person like me to not pick that lane arbitrarily. It's just...
Sure, yeah.
That is such a desirable option. It's not really Ice Lightning's fault that it's not that. This class is totally fine. If it existed on an island, more people would play it.
Yeah.
But I think so many people who were progressed at that point were like, well, I don't hate Bishop, so I'll just do that. Yeah. And then I can be further progressed for free. So I think with Legion champs, more people should pick up this class, because for solo play, it's about the same damage as Bishop, and honestly a little bit easier to play, to me at least. There's nothing wrong with this class. The only thing it ever did was not be Bishop. So I think more people should give this class a try.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I do think it looks cool. And I've seen, like I said, like I know a few people who've picked it up recently that do really enjoy it. So, and they do more than enough. They're doing absolutely fine.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not like, you know, like we don't need buffs. We don't have something that doesn't work. We don't have any bugs. Like it's vanilla ice cream.
Yeah.
You get exactly what you're paying for.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right, brother. Well, thank you for your time. You're the GOAT. Ice Lightning. Ice Lightning all the way, right, guys? Chills. Can we get one more chills for Ebola before he takes off tonight? Chills. Ice Lightning.
All right. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for taking the time, brother.
All right.
It was fun. We'll talk soon.
Yeah, of course. All right. See ya.
Later. Chills. Chills. All right. Well, that was fun. That was kind of fun. What did you guys think of that? Be honest. What did you think? Here's what I think. I think that class, that interview as a whole was, I think it was really shocking. Sorry. Sorry, I've been sitting on that one for an hour, guys. I've been sitting on it for an hour. My bad. No, honestly, I think that class is pretty cool. I'm so sorry. I've been waiting to make that joke for 2 weeks. Okay? Since I got an Ice Lightning to sign up, I've been waiting for that shit for 2 weeks, okay? You just gotta let me get it out of my system, and then we can move on. Now that that's all taken care of, all jokes aside, I do think the class is... Now I'm like trying to actively avoid the words that you guys are gonna boo. I actually do think the class is beautiful. I think its theme, its rotation, it's like everything about it, honestly, is interesting. It's intriguing. It's like actually something that I would play. Given that there weren't, like he said, so many other options that are like, you know, objectively better. I'm not gonna say it's cool again. So instead, I will just say, if you guys decided to watch this interview because you were trying to choose whether or not it was time for you to make an Ice Lightning, I hope this helped you make your decision, whether it was yes or no. If you're watching on YouTube and you want to participate in the live chat, if you want to participate in the community votes, come on by the stream. We're doing these almost every single night until we're done. We still have like 20 more of these to go. I think we're sub 20 at this point. I think we have, wait, we're getting very close to like 20 left. I don't know the exact number. I forget. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for you guys. That was the Ice Lightning Professional. If you have any questions about the class, feel free to ask, drop them in the comments. I will make sure that it gets passed along to the proper channels. Yes? Yes. Great. All right. Twitch chat, I love you guys. Thanks for being here. YouTube, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.